Dawn Wells, who passed away in 2020 at age 82, is best known for her role as Mary Ann Summers on the classic TV sitcom Gilligan's Island. While it looked like a lighthearted romp on the surface, there was some drama behind the scenes that Wells kept private during filming. Join Factsverse as we delve deeper into the untold stories and hidden secrets of Gilligan's Island and the life of Dawn Wells. Early success. A former beauty queen hailing from Reno, Nevada, Wells headed to LA in 1959 to pursue an acting career. Possessing girl-next-door charisma but lacking traditional Hollywood glamour, she endured her share of discouraging auditions early on. She started out signing with a small agent who got her commercial work and minor walk-on TV roles. Her big break came in 1960 when she landed a co-starring role as a secretary on the drama series The Roaring Twenties. She appeared in multiple episodes and, more importantly, made an impression on industry insiders. This led to a steady stream of guest appearances on hit primetime shows like 77 Sunset Strip, Bonanza, and Maverick. According to Wells, she'd been trained and had studied for it, but she still felt lucky. She mentioned there was a lot of filming happening and a lot going on in the 60s in television, and she probably had 2 or 3 auditions every day. Though she lacked the glitz of contemporaries like Raquel Welch, Wells had an approachable charm that served her well. By late 1963, her diligent networking paid dividends as she got word that a new sitcom called Gilligan's Island was casting. She successfully auditioned for the role of Mary Ann Summers, originally a minor part as a small-town Kansas girl. While the network considered Raquel Welch for Mary Ann as well, Wells had the advantage of coming across more naturally wholesome. Producers also wanted Mary Ann to serve as a counterpoint to Tina Louise's sultry movie star character Ginger. Once Gilligan's Island hit the airwaves in late 1964, Wells saw her career take off. While not the show's top-billed star, her character quickly emerged as a fan favorite. By the second season, her prominence increased to shared billing alongside the rest of the ensemble. Censorship and Objectification. Though Gilligan's Island appeared wholesome, Wells revealed the show contended with censorship issues regarding the female cast members' wardrobes. Network standards officials closely monitored her appearance in particular. They insisted she cover her belly button in high-waisted shorts, deeming it too sexually suggestive. She was told to tie her gingham shirt in a midriff-exposing knot, but then forced to conceal her navel itself. She also couldn't show cleavage or wear anything the least bit form-fitting. She found it tiresome to have her wardrobe constantly critiqued by the all-male network censors. In a 2018 interview, she admitted feeling somewhat objectified by the intense focus on her body. She recalled that she had been a young girl on her first major network acting job, and there were these men, since the censors were all men, who were observing her torso. The wardrobe scrutiny seemed excessive given Gilligan's Island aired in the family-friendly 1960s. Though she described the censorship as strict, she didn't bear a grudge. She maintained producer Sherwood Schwartz protected her from any real impropriety on set. He created a wholesome, professional environment for a young actress launching her career. However, Tina apparently felt even more constrained and vocalized frustrations to Schwartz. According to Wells, Louise refused to participate in cheesecake-style publicity photos, maximizing her sex appeal. While understandably demeaning, such images were customary for ingenues then. Louise insisted on having her costumes be elegant versus revealing. She was particularly concerned about protecting her image as she harbored ambitions of returning to serious film work. Both actresses had to walk a fine line, satisfying censors while still radiating enough allure to seem credible as Ginger the movie star and Mary Ann the farm girl. Wells ultimately didn't sweat the censorship and strict morality too much. Secret Hawaiian Wedding. In 1962, just before Gilligan's Island launched her fame, Wells married talent agent and producer Larry Rosen. The two had met through their work in Hollywood and quickly became smitten with each other. But they chose to keep their Hawaiian wedding ceremony entirely private at the time, not announcing or publicizing the marriage. Wells later indicated this was likely due to her unease over combining her blossoming career and new marital status. She worried playing a single ingenue type on Gilligan's Island could become complicated if she was known to be a newlywed. She also wanted to keep her personal life under wraps to avoid tabloid intrusion. Having her private world become gossip fodder was a risk for any young actress in the 1960s. Wells and Rosen seemed to think laying low until Gilligan's Island firmly established her career was the prudent choice. But the hectic filming schedule quickly threw a wrench into the plan. Wells was committed to long days on set and regularly learning new scripts. This left her little free time to devote to her husband, even once their wedding became public knowledge. She admitted in later interviews that her work dominated her attention during her important early years of marriage. She couldn't strike a healthy balance between career and relationship due to the demands of her breakout role. She also frequently traveled for publicity appearances, preventing her from settling into married life. After just 5 years of marriage, Wells and Rosen decided to amicably divorce in 1967. She was just 28 years old at the time, and getting divorced likely made her reflect on the pitfalls of show business. Typecasting woes. After Gilligan's Island ended its run in 1967, Wells struggled to transition into more mature acting roles outside of the wholesome Mary Ann archetype. She had informed the LA Times in 2017 that she had been trying to move beyond the Mary Ann role and wanted to play a hooker. The typecasting was frustrating, even if understandable, given Mary Ann's massive popularity. In her first post-Gilligan's Island role, she starred as a prostitute in a stage production of The Owl and the Pussycat in the late 60s. This represented a huge shift from her most famous part, but that was likely the point. She wanted to prove her range as an actress and fully shed her good girl small screen image. But the strategy failed, and she had trouble winning substantive new roles. She was passed over for countless film and TV projects because casting agents couldn't see her as anything but wholesome Mary Ann. She was forever pigeonholed as the cheery girl next door, no matter what risque characters she played on stage. In the 1970s and 80s, Wells popped up on various TV shows one-off, but struggled to catch on with another hit series. She was most often cast as bubbly secretaries, nurses, and housewives, never the femme fatale or serious leads. Wells told CNN that after Gilligan's Island, she didn't get a lot of work because everybody thought she was Mary Ann. The typecasting even followed Wells back to theater, where directors presumed audiences wanted to see her as Mary Ann. They would refuse to consider her for darker, more complex parts. While the narrow typecasting doubtlessly frustrated Wells during the prime of her career, in later life she made peace with it. She came to appreciate that Mary Ann was an indelible part of pop culture that brought joy to generations. She attended Gilligan's Island fan conventions and often slipped right back into her plucky farm girl character. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite character on Gilligan's Island? Let us know in the comments section below.